Mr. Fetterman has let loose. Oh, it's glorious to see. The Berlin Pride Parade attacker has been identified, and guess what? Not really a stretch to figure it out. And of course, another amazing upcoming film trailer. We played you Friday the new Scrooge movie, Ebenezer, which is coming out in November for Thanksgiving. I cannot wait. This one, I really can't wait for. We'll tell you about it coming up. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. Oh, it's Monday. Yeah, Monday is here. We are live on YouTube and Rumble. As always, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. For those of you who join us regularly, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Please do hit that follow and/or subscribe button. It's free and it helps the show. We don't have a marketing budget here, so whatever little bit you can do to help for free, we love that. All right. Now, before we get going, this story just broke in the last few hours. An absolute horrifying scene in Seattle. 3 people at the moment so far have been reported as dead, including children, after a shootout at a food festival. Thousands gathered for the Bite of Seattle food festival near the Space Needle. Gunshots rang out, crowds ran for cover. At least 3 people have been killed, 4 more wounded, ranging in age from a 2-year-old to 39 years old. Police say 2 shooters were actually firing at each other. One young American, quote unquote, is in custody, and there is a manhunt on for the second shooter. 2 dead at the scene, a third died at the hospital, 2 weapons recovered. The FBI is now involved. Another mass public gathering turned into a crime scene, families out for food and fun, kids included, now dealing with gunfire and body bags. It's wow. These soft on crime cities just keep delivering. Open air festivals should not include a body count. We pray for all the victims and their families. We hope they catch the second shooter. This was the scene.
Others hurt after a shooting at a festival in Seattle.
Thousands of people had gathered there for the annual Bite of Seattle, just a food festival, near the Space Needle when gunshots started ringing out, sending that massive crowd running for cover.
Seattle cops say that a, quote, a young person is now in custody, but they believe 2 shooters were firing at each other, and now a manhunt is underway for the second shooter.
Gunshots were heard. We had officers in the area, in the immediate area when these gunshots went off. Officers responded and addressed one of the shooters. That person gave up and was taken into custody. There was another person that we believe that was also involved that fled the scene, and officers began an active search for that person.
So 2 of the victims were declared dead at the scene, while a third succumbed to their injuries in the hospital. Officials say the other 4 victims all suffered gunshot wounds, with ages ranging from as young as 2 years old to 39.
Meanwhile, state leaders say that they are doing everything in their power to assist with this investigation and that federal authorities are now involved.
Wow. Developing story, not a lot of details except what's there. I mean, I suppose that's a lot of details, but man, here we go again. All right. Let's get into it, shall we, with Mr. Fetterman. Fox News Sunday put on a pretty wild segment with Democratic Socialist of America National Chair Megan Romer Well, host Shannon Beam went down a list of extreme agenda items that would amount to a dismantling of our government, asked Romer to confirm that these were, in fact, positions held by the DSA. And Romer said, yep, confirmed every one of them. Will want to abolish the Senate, replace the presidency and the Supreme Court, abolish borders, abolish prisons, and even defund the Pentagon. Isn't this just amazing? What a great plan. In fact, Romer was particularly enthusiastic about that last one, which is in fact the major obligation of our federal government in our Constitution, providing for the common defense of the country. Now, if you abolish all those things they want to abolish, you are basically abolishing the country as we know it. Well, Senator John Fetterman, and we like this guy more and more, he's a Democrat for the moment, he was immediately horrified by this whole idea. He is one of the few Democrats who have been willing to actually call out his party, and he doesn't mind doing it, does it regularly. Maybe it won't be his party much longer if he keeps going down this path. But it was very clear how incensed he was. Here's his post on X. Dem socialists abolish Senate, Pentagon, presidency, and prisons. It isn't a big tent, it's anarchy. That's why can't Dems call out the DSA? He rightly chastised other Democrats, calling abolishing the Senate and Pentagon effectively by not funding it, the presidency by changing it, and prisons. I love the line. This isn't a big tent, it's anarchy. Man, you got that right. The steps towards that kind of radical state, these are the kind of things people have been fleeing for years. Fetterman put the big question of the Democrats: why can't Dems call out the DSA? The problem is they are so intertwined. The leaders see the base going left. They're afraid to offend them, and in not doing so, they've become them. They are what they fear because they're afraid of offending them. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries had the opportunity to do that in New York when the socialists chanted he was next, clearly indicating they were coming for his seat. But what did he do? Squat all nothing. He just bent over and did nothing to call anybody out. Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader, been equally worthless. I think Fetterman may very well be switching parties soon. It would not surprise me in the least. If this keeps up, I frankly don't think he wants to be associated with this kind of insanity. And who can blame him? I also don't think most Americans would vote for any party that would hold hands with the craziness to dismantle America. So the GOP needs to keep ramming home what the Democrats are doing. They've got to keep playing this up. This is why I'm doing this story, because you need to know what your party is all about, Democrats. Look, I am not of the opinion that there are any Democrats who watch this program. Please. If you did, you'd be gone in about 30 seconds or less. But we've got to keep getting the message out there on your X. For those few people who still use Facebook, on your Facebook, if they'll allow it, of course, because Facebook is nothing but pure censorship. But you've got to keep ramming this message home, not just because it's good for us politically, but because it's critical for the defense of the nation. If these morons get in charge, they will do what they're threatening to do. It is now reaching absolute critical mass, with more of these folks winning seats, winning primaries. It is scary when you look at it. They are quietly just eating away, eating away. So much so as you hardly notice. That's on Democrats who are propping up their ability to run because they think it'll help their power, which is all they're interested in, without seeming to realize that they are the people who will get eaten first when the socialists take over. Do you not see that? These people have got to be fully rejected by the voters. Fully. This cannot continue, or we are all in a heap of trouble. Unbelievable. Well, the nerd prom suffered another attack with the press. The brave warriors cannot take a punchline. It's been one of the ongoing amusing things provided by the news industry here in America. Journalists love to position themselves as the brave heroes willing to charge into embattled scenarios. You see them with the fake helmets and the flak vests on, reporting from the front lines. Instead, what we see is their outrage at any kind of criticism and being called to account when they delivered absolute one-sided fractured journalism, which is about all they do these days. Like the terracotta warriors, they appear very solid, very bold, but the first sign of resistance, they crumble into dust. Now, bring this up because we see this dichotomy on display this past weekend. Friday night, they reheld the annual White House Correspondents Association Awards Gala. The original attempt, of course, got cut short by the charging gunman at the location. So Friday was kind of a take two. President Trump once again was in attendance. This caused all kinds of shrinking consternation from the media rabble, absolute rabble. That was the president's appearance would be regarded negatively by a lot of sophisticated journos, given a group that expressed its opposition before the even start of the April gala. They issued a letter signed by a lot of obstinate, self-important reporters, members of the news community. Nothing displays how brave you are like issuing a tersely worded email before anything is even spoken. Now, after Friday's event, which has been overlooked by just about everybody, there is all manner of negativity about the appearance of President Trump. They come off like a bunch of prigs who are in a snit because there's an unwashed outsider who sullied their private club. CNN, they set up an online panel to cover the White House dinner in real time with Brian Stelter and Daniel Dale providing all the caustic commentary you could possibly listen to. Not that anyone was listening to it, because it's CNN and there's no volumes where they play in the airports. Very little to be found that's any more than hackneyed, having your banal experts fact checking jokes on a roast. This is crazy.
But if you want to know that. But I didn't know exactly what to expect. And I've made a lot of friends tonight. I've made a lot of good friends tonight. Probably made some enemies also. But it's been an experience that is something that we've all shared together, because we're all in this room tonight because most of us went through a period of trauma from just a
There's Stelzer's comments on the side there. Idiot. Peter Baker, New York Times, delivered this disdain. He's expressed concern about the First Amendment for some reason. We're not too clear. He's suggesting the president should not be entitled to free expression. Is that what you were saying, Peter? He then turns soft and declares that his outlet doesn't attend the event, but there's an allowance of sorts if an individual reporter is being awarded at the event. Okay. As you can see, a dose of convenience on the part of the brave Mr. Baker, who, by the way, was in attendance during the Biden era. So then we have this correspondent from the AP, Sung Min Kim, who was quote tweeting contempt from Oliver Starcy's status outlet. These reporters so bent out of shape about stinging barbs at what's always been traditionally a roast is beyond belief. Journalists who love to say they're firefighters running into a blaze, or like Scott Pelley, who says being a war correspondent means he served his country. But if you say mean things to them, oh, they will melt faster than cotton candy in a rainstorm. And there's something else to consider. This is the same group that got mad at the very same president for going after Jimmy Kimmel for some of his vile comments, specifically regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination. These journalists responded with scorn, saying Kimmel was merely joking and not to be construed any other way. Now, today, they're all laughing and gasping and swooning over jokes that are being delivered at them. Not laughing. I misspoke. They're only gasping. Again, proving how they think they are better off than the rest of us. Based on the reactions from the brave hearts in the press, it's probably offensive to point out these contradictions. Holding them to the very standards they profess means I'm being kind of an aggressor, attacking their profession. Well, there you go. The only thing worse would be for me to joke at their expense. Receiving a lecture from humorous scolds is as useless as a lesson of taking barbecuing tips from a militant vegan. Idiots. Every last one of them. They don't realize their time is not up or coming. It's done. They're finished. They are absolutely finished. I am sure by now you have heard the story about the Berlin Pride event. Police have killed the attacker who targeted that Pride event. German police saved the taxpayers a great deal of money by killing the Muslim terrorist who murdered at least one person and injured multiple more at a Berlin Pride event on Saturday. The BBC reported July 26 police had shot and killed the suspect behind the vehicle attack on the parade. The suspect, Abdul Balut, apparently rushed at police with a knife. The day before, Balut at first used his van to drive into the crowd at the LGBTQ event and then went on a stabbing spree. Well, ain't that nice? Leaving one woman dead and 29 injured. He has German citizenship. He is of Lebanese background. Tried to join the Islamic State terror group, evidently had an ambition to die while committing jihad so he could go straight to paradise. Illustrates that issue, like so many of these Muslims who receive citizenship in their new countries, and many receive freebies from the government. They still have so little gratitude, they want to kill the very people who have benefited them. German governments acknowledge that Balut's attack could inspire similar terrorist attacks. As a matter of fact, Islamic terrorists have used vehicular assaults and stabbings a number of times in the past, not only in Germany, but across Europe, America. To live in a country where these citizens cannot own guns or criticize the national immigration policy. Can you imagine? Almost half, listen to this, almost half the people in Germany's prisons are foreign nationals. Almost half. Considering this does not include migrants to whom authorities have given citizenship. The real number, very likely a lot higher. Arab migrants, particularly likely to commit crimes in Germany. In other words, Muslim mass migration has become a catastrophe for Germany. Who could have predicted that one, huh? Devout Jews and Christians believe that homosexuality is a perversion, according to Genesis and Leviticus and Corinthians and Romans. But Jews and Christians do not believe the solution to this moral problem is to assault or murder gay people. That is, however, the solution of devout Muslims, which is why multiple Sharia-based dictatorships execute homosexuals in the most gruesome of ways. And that is also why the fact that the Berlin attacker, apparently a Muslim, is not in the least way surprising. When the news of this Berlin attack first broke, a lot of leftists in Germany and other countries would have been shocked because they're in such denial about the hostility of Islam to gay people, transgender ideology. There is perhaps no greater irony than calling yourself a queer for Palestine, for instance, given that Hamas regularly, on a nearly daily basis, tortures and executes gay people in Gaza. But that is the suicidal idiocy of woke Westerners who hate Jews, who hate Christians, and yet welcome Muslims who will be happy to rape and kill them. Jihadists. Make it make sense, please. You can't. Don't try. All right. One of our great sponsors, John Santos and the gang over at Blackout Coffee. We love these guys, and they simply make the best coffee on the planet. Oh, yeah, Blackout Coffee. Use the link in our description down below. You get yourself 20% off your first order from Blackout Coffee. Flavored coffees, each one better than the next. Instant, cold brew, all the best roasts. If you cannot grind your own beans, not a problem. Most of their most popular roasts also have the ability that they will grind them for you. Pick your favorite roast, order a bag, give it a try. Promise you'll be back for more. Don't forget the code J20, JAY20. That'll get you 20% off your first order at Blackout Coffee. Thank you, John and the gang at Blackout Coffee. All right. How about a fix for this damn trucker shortage that does not involve non-English speaking, non-English reading road sign illegal aliens? How about that? Think that might be a good idea? Well, fixing the trucker shortage means turning to veterans. The Trump admin is moving fast to fill gaps in the trucking industry by encouraging military vets to step into the roles left open after a crackdown on CDLs issued improperly to immigrants. Now, that approach makes a whole lot of practical sense. It rewards service members with skills they've already honed behind the wheels of some very heavy vehicles and addresses a workforce need using legal, qualified Americans. What a concept! Under long-standing federal programs, vets who operated military trucks weighing more than 2.5 tons in the past year and have 2 years of safe driving history in military heavy vehicles can skip the whole on-road skills test for a commercial driver's license. You can skip it. You got to still pass the written exam, but the GI Bill covers training costs for others, sometimes including housing support while you're in school. More than 40,000 veterans have used similar waivers already. The new push builds on that foundation with targeted promotion to help fill seats which have been vacated by drivers who, with authorization to work in the U.S., they didn't have any. The benefits to this are endless. Trucking remains essential, of course, to keeping our store shelves stocked, supply chains moving, and a shortage of drivers. That's been going on for years. In fact, that's why these illegals, for the most part, were all behind the wheels illegally, killing people. Turning first to men and women who served their country offers a very straightforward way to strengthen the backbone of this country without relying on imported labor. A lot of vets leave the military. They've got discipline, mechanical knowledge, experience handling large rigs under pressure. Giving them a smoother path to civilian careers makes every bit of sense. Language barriers, another layer worth considering. Data on commercial licensing shows a notable portion of recent immigrant applications have a hard time at best with English proficiency, required for safe operation of a big rig, reading road signs, communicating at way stations, understanding federal regulations. You gotta be able to speak and read English in order to get through this stuff. They cannot. When non English speakers get CDLs through state processes, it raises legit concerns about road safety, fairness in hiring. Vets, by contrast, have proven records, full command of the language, and everything they need to do the job right. So let's let them prioritize these vets. Obvious human benefits. A lot face high risks of unemployment or homelessness after leaving the service. Stable, well paying trucking work is exactly, in many cases, the kind of structure and income which will help these vets rebuild their civilian life. Studies, program outcomes have shown that vets in transportation roles very often thrive. Reliability, all the things that employers value. This initiative very quietly supports them without all the fanfare and focuses on results instead of rhetoric. This is a brilliant idea. Get behind this. Absolutely brilliant idea. As if Minnesota does not have enough things to worry about, well, they're now wasting millions of taxpayer dollars on trans dolls to basically help confuse little kids. Yeah. What is it with Minnesota these days? Is there something in the water in these 10,000 lakes? Is that it? Now, granted, it's the metro area, Minneapolis, St. Paul, that's responsible for most of the nuttiness that is running rampant in Minnesota. And a lot of the rest of the state just looks on with absolute dismay and, in some cases, disgust. No doubt about that. I don't want to paint the whole state because of a couple of idiot cities, but just when you think Minnesota's progressive left could not have come up with anything more ridiculous, you would be wrong. They have doubled down on stupid. This time, taxpayer funded transgender dolls with replaceable parts for school kids. Oh, and not just any school kids as young as 4 years old with replaceable parts. Yeah, really. They are dolling up the trans agenda, and taxpayers are footing the bill. First of their kind, they're shouting, transgender dolls, complete with removable genitalia, will debut in some Minnesota classrooms this fall to kids as young as 4. The paper dolls with gender neutral names like Sam, Rory, Avery, and Parker have removable internal and external genitals, along with more than 100 interchangeable pieces of clothing, accessories, and hairstyles. It's like, if you would, a trans Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Now, not only, especially for a 4-year-old, is this horrendously inappropriate, it's also a huge waste of taxpayer money. Minnesotans, what are you doing? The amount coming from Tim Walz's government, oh, it's not a small figure. The whole thing got started, believe it or not, when the University of Minnesota Medical School research project, uh, the dolls began as a research project which later spun into a commercial venture called My Gender Dolls by two licensed psychologists who are professors at the University of Minnesota. The website does not reveal the cost of the paper dolls. University of Minnesota Medical School has been receiving, about $15 million annually from the state via Walz, cash earmarked to increase the medical school's research capacity and ensure its national prominence. It's the notion of providing this nitwittery to kids in the schools, no less, that we need to be a bit concerned about. It is not just a bad idea, it is catastrophically, hilariously inappropriate. 4-year-olds. There is no indication here whether parents can pull their kids out of this or whether parents will even be informed of it. God knows. It is Minnesota after all. Oh, yeah. And there'll be some people who may buy these things for their own kids. There's that weird subset of far left idiots who see having a transgender kid as some sort of badge of sick status. Let's face it, though, the schools, especially in blue states, are doing a rather shit job of what they're supposed to be doing, producing young adults with marketable skills. At the elementary school level, that means teaching things like, I don't know, not to be old fashioned, but let's say reading, writing, math. And then as they progress through that, maybe civics. So, you kind of figure out what it means to be a productive citizen, not this horse squeeze. There is no room in our education system for transgender dolls. But they're coming at you. Oh, and if you're a parent in Minnesota, start attending school board meetings. Start running for the school board if you can. Until this education system has been pulled out of the bloody clutches of this idiot, moronic, far left, it is only going to get worse and it's going to get more ridiculous. I promise. Karen, good morning. Welcome in. What? I'm not sure what you were reacting to there, but okay. Oh, my. What else have we got? Oh, gotta love this one. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Have you heard this story? This happened in New Jersey at a YMCA camp. This is nuts. 13 children were hospitalized after mistakenly eating edibles at a New Jersey YMCA summer camp. Oh, I've got questions. According to a spokesman for the YMCA, one camper shared the edibles with other children between the ages of 10 and 13. The organization, he said, had no knowledge or consent. Now, if you don't know, replying to the thousand parts of an innocent toy. If you don't know, edibles are like little gummies, like little gummy bear things, but inside they might have any variety of hallucinogenic mushroom bits, THC, cannabis, the stuff that makes you high when you smoke marijuana, that kind of stuff. So, 13 kids became ill after, here you go, mistakenly consuming mushroom laced edibles, which they thought were candy, at a YMCA summer camp in New Jersey. According to the spokesman, one camper shared the edible with other children who were between 10 and 13 after staff noticed several campers having an adverse reaction. Employees at the East Orange YMCA summer camp contacted emergency medical service, police, and the parents of the affected children. The safety of every child in our care, the spokesman said, is our highest priority. He added the YMCA policy prohibits children from sharing food with one another at the camp. The edibles, reportedly chocolate, were laced with mushrooms. One parent, Destiny Yasmina, said her 11-year-old son had consumed edibles and had a series of medical conditions that include cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and anxiety. She arrived at the YMCA to find her son in a near psychosis, saying, "I don't want to die." Damn. Police chief in East Orange, Phyllis Bindi, said a statement the incident was very deeply concerning, particularly because it involves the safety and well-being of our kids. Several incidents involving suspected controlled substances, they take those happenings very seriously. Bindi said, "Our detectives conducting a thorough investigation to determine exactly what occurred and how these suspected edibles came into possession of a juvenile, whether any criminal offenses were committed." Wow. Imagine sending your kid off to YMCA camp, then getting a call, "Oh, sorry, they ate some edibles with mushrooms inside and they're tripping out in the back of an ambulance right now." Woo, I'm telling you, not nice, not nice. We are going to end things a little early today. It's a Monday. But before we go, on Friday, I played you the trailer for a new film coming out starring Johnny Depp called Ebenezer, because The Christmas Carol is one of my all-time favorite stories. And this trailer made the film look absolutely remarkable. Well, not to be outdone, perhaps my very favorite television experience of all time, from the time I was a kid until 5 minutes ago, has been Yosemite Sam and the Warner Brothers cartoon, folks. And it's not Yosemite Sam. He's my favorite character of all. But right up there towards the top would have to be Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Meep. I'm telling you, I I don't know. I mean, I've been blasting Hollywood left, right, and center, but for some reason, unless it's politically correct, and it don't look like it, this is amazing. Could you ever have imagined that one of the greatest opponents from Wile E. Coyote would be the Roadrunner in a courtroom? Oh, yeah. Get ready for it.
Have you ever set a big stack of TNT on the road, hoping to blow up your nemesis, but the detonator itself explodes? Have you ever pulled the ripcord of your parachute and only a bunch of silverware comes out? It's not your fault.
Acme is evil. You're looking at the guy who is taking on the biggest corporation in the world.
They're suing us for every Acme product.
Acme denies all charges. That is for you. All I gotta do is walk out the store right now.
Please don't.
This is not funny. I thought cartoons are supposed to be funny.
It's exciting. All eyes on you, ready to show what you got.
Acme has knowingly been making dangerous products for decades. Is there anyone in the whole world who cares what happened to the coyote at all?
Yeah, I do.
He's one of the most hard-working people I've ever met. He would never think of quitting. And I think everyone should be inspired by that.
I don't just want him scared. I want him ruined.
We're all counting on you. Bye. I'm here for the pantsless modeling gig.
What'd you see?
I thought.
You tall? I don't pay you to think you tall. I pay you to tall.
I did tall.
What did you tee? What did you tall?
Only in theaters August 28th. Get tickets at coyotevoicesacme.com.
I cannot wait. That is not a paid advertisement. I just love that trailer so much. I wanted to bring it for you, and you got to check it out. Come up August 28th in theaters. Coyote versus Acme.com. Now, that's cool. All right. Thank you, folks. Be sure and hit up our sponsors in our description down below. Also, if you want to make a donation to help keep the show free and keep the lights on, all of that goes to the show. If you hit our PayPal link, you can use your bank account or your credit cards to make a donation. We appreciate any amount you can do. And yeah, that's it. We'll be back again tomorrow for the Tuesday edition of the Jay Sheldon Show.